What's going on, guys? IFBB Bikini Pro, Hannah Osmond here, and as you can see, I just had a massive grocery haul. I thought it would be beneficial for you guys to kind of see what I pick up from the grocery store. I shop at Walmart, so I'm not doing anything like super fancy, but this is a pretty typical like weekly haul for me. I was out of everything, so some of these things might not be like a weekly grab. Like peanut butter, this will last me longer than a week. Dressing will last me longer than a week. Bacon will last me a little bit longer than a week. Eggs, these will probably last me a little bit longer than a week, but you guys get the gist. Most of these things are on my weekly regimen as far as what I'm eating. So if you guys are interested in seeing what I pick up from the grocery store, keep watching. Okay, so I thought I would kind of like categorize how I go through the store. So I want to start with protein. Protein, obviously, it's very important. As a bodybuilder, I'm trying to put on lean muscle mass. I'm trying to optimize my body composition. So, keep my body fat down while putting on some lean muscle mass. So I eat a very high protein diet. So first thing that is definitely on my weekly regimen is this organic grass-fed ground beef. This is 93% lean, 7% fat. When I get in contest prep, or if I'm dieting and I don't necessarily have room in my fat intake to have 7% fat, which really does not sound like much, but anywhere that you can save fat whenever you're in contest prep is a good thing. So I will go to like a leaner cut beef, but since I'm in off season and I'm growing, 93% 7 is fine with me. And I do prefer the grass-fed. I just feel like it tastes a little better. If you're going like on the cost efficient side of things, then I would just grab, whatever your superstore has. This week I did pick up a couple fillets. Typically I would go to like the meat shop for fillets, but these looked pretty good. So I just grabbed 2 of these, and I might stick one of them in the freezer and cook later, and then I might cook one this weekend. So we have beef and we have fillets. I'll also do center cut bacon. Sometimes I'll do this in the morning. I typically eat eggs, so you'll see these here. I eat eggs just about every morning, but when I am, kind of over the whole egg white feel in my mouth, because I'm like a texture person, sometimes I will do like, a couple egg whites with a piece of bacon, and that kind of breaks up my protein for in the morning. So center cut bacon. We also have eggs. Cheese. Most cheese is like higher in fat content. I'm not someone who really likes like fat-free cheese just because I don't feel like it melts. It's just not the same. Like, I'm a cheese person. This is another thing that I really cut out whenever I'm hardcore dieting or getting ready for stage, just because dairy doesn't really sit super well with me. Whenever I'm in contest prep and I'm getting leaner, I have like some sort of inflammatory response, but it doesn't bother me too much whenever I'm, not in contest prep mode. So I do get some finely shredded reduced fat Fiesta blend cheese, and sometimes I will put this on my eggs as well, just kind of depending on like where my fats are sitting throughout the day. Let's go ahead and move on to the other cheese that I have over here. So I am a big snacker, and I don't really snack on like actual snacks. I tend to have meals, but if my meals can be smaller and feel like snacky, that's kind of what I gravitate toward. I also get deli chicken. This is like another one of those things that I don't have to buy on a weekly basis. This lasts me quite a while, but it is great to have, like, if you don't have any meat prepped. This is a really good like grab and go type option, and I will show you. So what I'll do with this deli chicken and shredded Fiesta blend cheese sometimes is I will make a little wrap, and these are Joseph's pita bread. They look like this. They're just little wraps. For one pita, it's 60 calories, 1.5 fat, 9 grams of carbs, and 6 grams of protein. So I'll do this with like a couple ounces of deli chicken, some sprinkled cheese, some lettuce, maybe some other veggies, some dressing, and it is like the perfect high protein snack that kind of breaks up my meals for me. So that's another really, really great option. So let's go ahead and move on to veggies. I know everyone's favorite. I actually dislike green veggies quite a bit, so I have to like spice up how I make them constantly. Otherwise, like if I'm making asparagus the same way over and over and over, I'm like, the hell with this, I'm just not gonna eat asparagus. So what I have green onions, which I do like to put on my salads. I have asparagus. And this asparagus, I've never seen asparagus this tiny. Do you guys see all those? I thought they were so nice, but I actually like smaller asparagus. So I was like, heck yeah, I can do this week. So got asparagus, some green onions, some Brussels sprouts, which are also pretty small. If you get the giant ones, you typically have to like half or quarter them before you bake them to bake them all the way through. But these little ones, like some olive oil on a pan, salt, pepper, and these babies, and they're like good to go. Then I also have iceberg lettuce. I like to make wedge salads probably on a weekly basis. So I always get an iceberg head of lettuce at the store. I also have some cherry tomatoes. This goes on my wedge as well as like other salads that I make. I also have some just basic spring mix. So I can do a big kind of like hodgepodge salad with, sunflower seeds or slivered almonds, maybe some edamame beans, some, cherry tomatoes. I kind of get funky. I get crazy. So let's go ahead and let's do these three together. So obviously peanut butter, hello, or almond butter, whichever you want. This is very, very easy to get carried away with. I'll tell you that right now. So when you're doing almond butter or peanut butter or anything like that, try to measure it. Even like tablespoon measurements, if you're using like an actual tablespoon or like a spoon and you're just saying, oh, this is a tablespoon. When you spoon out that peanut butter, guys, I promise you are getting closer to 2 or 3 tablespoons of peanut butter, which equals, let's see, 16 grams of fat per tablespoon. So do the math. What I like to do is measure by the grams weight-wise. So if you'll look at the back of a label, it says serving size equals 2 tablespoons, which in parentheses, it will have the weight. So that equals 32 grams weight-wise. So if you are going to be doing peanut butter or anything that's like hard to eyeball, basically, measure it. Of course, it's not required. You do you, but I'm just telling you what I do and the mistakes that I've kind of made leading up to this point. Girl used to get like 5 tablespoons of peanut butter thinking she was eating 2. So there's that. Another, like, no joke, weekly buy. If it's not the classic ranch, it's like Bolthouse avocado or creamy Caesar. Like, these Bolthouse dressings are fire and the macros are so good. So for 2 tablespoons, in parentheses, 30 grams weight wise, it's 45 calories, 3 fat, 3 carbs, 1 protein. So when you're comparing that to like a typical ranch that has 16 grams of fat per like 1 tablespoon, there's really no comparison. Like, you will save so many calories if you just switch over to like lower cal dressings. So another 2 of my favorite seasonings, I really like to put these on eggs. This is actually popcorn seasoning. So this is ranch and garlic parmesan. Don't knock it till you try it, fam, because this is bomb on eggs. Another thing that I put on my salads all the time is feta. They also have like a fat-free feta version at my Walmart, but it's kind of hit or miss. Like, sometimes I see it, sometimes I don't. So I currently just have regular feta. Another salad topping or kind of like snacky thing that I will go for are, honey cashews or salted almonds or something like that. This is another one of those things like similar to the almond butter. It's very easy to over snack on these, to like grab a handful, grab and go. But before you know it, you're having a 1/4 cup, maybe 1/2 cup. Like, they add up very, very quick. So I recommend, if you are going to have these little Ziploc snack bags and like measure out a perfect serving of this, so like when you are craving cashews or almonds or something, you can just like grab and go a little snack pack. So there's that. I also get for my snacky fixes, sometimes in the evening, I'm craving something like a little more like hand to mouth, like snack instead of just a meal, if that makes sense. So sometimes I'll pair this with a protein source. I'll eat my protein and veggies, and then I'll have this at the end just so I can snack on it. So just skinny girl popcorn. This is lime and salt flavored. Be careful about popcorn at the store, because if you will look at the serving size, sometimes it will be like 3 servings per bag. Who's gonna measure out 1/3 of a bag when you're eating popcorn? You know what I mean? So like, look for one that it says like 1 serving per bag. That way you can get an accurate representation of the macros when you are reading that label. So let's move on to fruit, and then I'll kind of work into some carb sources. Let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Coffee, non-negotiable. It's got to be there. So for fruit, I kind of switched up, but the main fruits that I really grab for are strawberries and then blueberries. My store was out of blueberries, so this is my old container, but I just wanted to pull that out just to show you guys because I do typically grab blueberries and strawberries. Sometimes I'll grab pineapple if it looks good. Sometimes I'll do mango or kiwi if it's like in season, but most of the time it's just these. Sometimes I'll grab some apples if I'm, craving that, but most of the time these are like my go-to breakfast fruits. So another breakfast item that is pretty essential for me right now are these bagels. So bagels just by nature are pretty high carb, but these Linder's bagels that I have found at Walmart, they're so good, and they're a lower carb. I say lower carb. There's still 42 grams of carbs, but I think most bagels that you find at the store are closer to like 52, 58. So like that's a pretty carb dense meal if you're eating an entire bagel. These Linder bagels, 42 carbs, and they're phenomenal. And they come in like blueberry, they come in, I wanna say cinnamon raisin. I typically get the plain because I put like peanut butter or I'll eat them with fruit or something like that. So I just prefer the plain ones. But I wanna say the blueberry ones are even lower carb, so highly recommend. The thing about these is that it's not in the bread section. You have to look in the refrigerated section, kind of like where the cream cheese is. At least this is like where I found them in my Walmarts that I shop at. So look in the refrigerated section near the cream cheese and you should see these Linder's bagels. Thank me later. Another really quick carb source that I like to have on hand are these Uncle Ben's basmati rices. They come in a ton of different flavors. This again, kind of like the organic beef that I spoke about, like it's not the most cost efficient way to go, but just like convenience alone, it's worth it for me. This is kind of a new find for me, but so I have a girlfriend that I have dinner with every once in a while, and her mom made these one time, and I about died because the macros are actually pretty solid. So these are no yolk noodles. So this is like literally made from egg whites. So it's, decent protein. And especially if you're gonna add some like beef or something to a pasta dish, these are awesome. So for 1.5 cups, which is 56 grams, 200 calories, 1 gram of fat, 40 carbs, and 8 grams of protein. So again, if you're gonna add some beef or some, pasta or pizza sauce or something like that, it's actually pretty solid. So I thought I would show you guys those. Again, I don't have a ton of experience with those, but I have had them a couple times, so I just thought I would include them, see if I can get creative this week. Another thing that I get kind of along with these pita wraps, sometimes I'll do like little personal pan pizzas. So I just got some ragu pizza sauce. Pretty good macros for the serving size. Again, I'll do some shredded cheese, and then if I have some turkey pepperoni or something like that, I'll stick that on there, or cooked beef or whatever. I can get really creative. So, and then last thing I want to touch on is my gallon jug. I do not get 7 gallons just because I don't have room to store them in my kitchen. But another reason is because you can reuse this. Like I don't, take this everywhere I go with me, but I aim for a gallon of water every day. And I'm someone who kind of struggles with water. So what I'll do is I'll fill this up in the morning, and then I will pour out of my gallon. So if I have like a shaker cup or something, I will fill up my shaker cup from that jug. That way, this is like a visual. Like I can see this throughout the day, so I can be like, oh,
it's 4 o'clock and I have only drank half a gallon. I might need to speed it up a little bit.
So I kind of use it as a gauge, and it helps me kind of stay on track with my water. So that's what I'll do with a gallon. And then really for the entire week, I'll fill it up in the morning, and then I'll use it throughout the week. And then at the end of the week, I'll throw it away and grab another gallon. This is like 70 cents or something like that. So I don't get like any fancy schmancy water or anything like that. I just grab a jug, use it as a gauge. It keeps me on track, and that's that. So last thing, I don't think I have touched on eggs. Again, this isn't the most cost efficient way, but I prefer cage-free, brown eggs. I feel like they taste a little bit better. If you are looking for a cost efficient way to buy eggs, or, if you're a bodybuilder and you're eating like 12 eggs a day, You can get the box of eggs. I want to say that is like 60 eggs for like $3. So that's a much better deal than this. But you know, I eat 3 to 4 eggs a day. It's really not that big of a deal. Again, I'm not looking for like super cost efficient, like best deal ever. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this grocery haul. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below. I keep it pretty simple with my meals. I don't do anything too fancy schmancy. So if you guys liked this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and hit that notification bell before you leave. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.